Nintendo.
Animal Crossing has always been a big comfort game of mine. I've been following the franchise since its release on the GameCube, and so my adoration for it has never faltered. It's one of the few games that I always make a return to. Sure, I'll enter phases where I get burnt out, but nothing could ever keep me completely away. Prior to New Horizons, I was still playing New Leaf, and while we had the ability to decorate our town and whatnot, I just didn't. I don't know, I'm not normally a big decorator when it comes to video games. I do love character customization though, so with games like The Sims 3, I never cared to really decorate my house. All that mattered was how my character looked and to focus on the gameplay. And that's how I went about playing Animal Crossing. I would log in and look forward to chatting with my villagers, working on the Critterpedia, and whatever else lies ahead. I wasn't too crazy about aesthetics and how my town looked. The funny thing is, my character looked good and had these expensive fits, but her house for sure didn't reflect that. Instead, my house in New Leaf had a similar aesthetic to a starter villager. If I like something, I'll put it in. It doesn't matter if it clashes with other furniture. My house was just cluttered with things I liked, and oftentimes this was a fish I caught or whatever furniture I found cute. Because of this, New Horizons is the first Animal Crossing game where I've put more thought into designing my house. And before I forget, what's up Sarah Butts? How are you? I hope you're doing well. Are you also done with designing your house in Animal Crossing, or are you still figuring it out? It's okay if you are. To be honest, the rooms I'm about to show you in this video are always prone to change. Earlier this year, I wrapped up decorating my house in New Horizons. I've been playing New Horizons since its release, but I wasn't sure with what I wanted to go for. I didn't have an exact theme in mind when initially decorating my house, and after Happy Home Paradise was introduced, it made me stall for even longer on finally tackling the remodeling of my house. But you know what? The introduction of partition walls was my kryptonite. I don't think I can decorate a room without one now, so you're going to be seeing that a lot in this tour. Out of my rooms, the living room or main entrance has had the most change. Second to that was the basement. I had a difficult time settling on a layout I like for both those rooms. To be honest, there is a high chance I'm going to change this room again, but we shall see. For now, I am content with its current setup, although I do regret not taking photos of the early progress of my house. I think that's one of my biggest regrets with New Horizons is that I should have taken more photos. I really should have. I'm a little envious of everyone's before and after photos, as it's a great way to capture the evolution of your island or island living. Since I don't have pics of my old layout, I can only describe it. When I initially designed this room, it was very cramped as I tried to fit in my kitchen, dining, and study desk all in one. Don't ask me why I did this, because I don't know what I was thinking either. It's almost like I forgot I had other rooms. And then when I changed it again, I went for a living room and study combo, but as you can see, I ended up scrapping the study section altogether. But yeah, this design feels a lot less cramped than before. I actually replaced the study section with the laundry corner. It kind of bums me out that we have the inability to walk through partition walls, but I understand why. It's not an arc, but I like to pretend it is. I also like to mix and match rugs. It wasn't intended, but I tend to pair the rugs with the furniture. As a result, I tend to forget whether the rugs as a group look cohesive, but I think there's a charm to it. I also included a dedicated reading space as I've always wanted to have my own library growing up. I wanted to be like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. That library scene was everything to me. Although that dream has since faded, while I still love reading, I've started to nitpick what books are worth getting. Like, do I really need this book? Do I like it that much? And I've also started to collect manga, so my wallet is in danger. The twisted fate of needing the physical media of all your interests. We also have a couple of KK Slider album art. I'm trying to collect them all. I really like the detail that was put into every KK Slider album art. I also wish that the villager portraits were as big as the KK Slider albums. I'm trying to collect all the portraits of villagers I like, but most of them sit in my storage as I have a difficult time using them for decor. I don't know, they leave a lot of spacing around them. To be honest, decorating the walls are my least favorite, but yeah, I try to use KK album art as another way to showcase my favorite villagers. Now to the right of my house, can you guess? Is the bathroom, because I've never had an original thought in my life. I'm kidding. A lot of people put their bathroom to the right. I'm not sure why, but I did it because I wanted the bathroom to be the smallest room. Or so I thought. I'm actually not sure if the room to the right is smaller or the same size as the room in the back, so there's a chance I screwed myself over, but that's okay because I do like how my bathroom looks. which was a shock to me because it was one of the rooms I was not looking forward to decorating. It was the room I was least confident about, only for me to quickly get it done with. The bathroom has only been changed once, and that was because I wanted to use a lot of the new furniture Happy Home Paradise introduced. A lot of my rooms were also initially inspired by Studio Ghibli before I changed it, and so for the bathroom, it was once inspired by Ponyo. So it had a blue and orange color scheme before I settled for brown. There's a lot of amazing Studio Ghibli inspired rooms in Animal Crossing. I highly recommend checking them out. I remember seeing a House Moving Castle one and Air Yeti ones, which were also the inspo for my 2 bedrooms before I ultimately decided to just go with whatever I liked, whatever came to my mind. And then I wanted to give my bathroom extra privacy by using a toilet stall, but because I put all my money into making it a stall, I didn't have enough to upgrade it to a bidet. As a result, I need to use this guy. If you're Filipino like me, then you know exactly what this pink bucket is representing. I went to a friend's house once, and I was shocked to see that hers was blue. I thought everyone's was pink when I was a kid. Anyways, in the back we have the master bedroom. Although what's funny is that I'm the only one who lives here though, so shouldn't every bedroom technically be the master's bedroom? I like to pretend that this is where my parents sleep when they visit my island. That's why I added a little reference to their wedding rings. The bedding also reminded me of one of the beddings we used to have when I was a kid. I feel like beddings back then had more of a nostalgic vibe. You ever noticed that? Like a lot of blankets today have more of a modern and minimalistic style, but back then I feel like patchworks and quilts were the trend. I also have a corner by the bed where I like to imagine my mom doing her makeup. Originally, this room was inspired by House Moving Castle, but then I wanted to go for a cozy and nostalgic vibe, like you're returning home after college or visiting your parents' place after so long. And while time has passed, it also feels like everything has stayed the same. Which is why I have a music box playing to add to the atmosphere and Christmas stockings that are up year-round. Do your parents do this as well? My mom hangs things up for New Year's like grapes or other decorations, and then they just stay there. I think one time the grapes finally gave in and fell on me, but most of the time they hang by the door year-round until she replaces it again on New Year's Eve. To the left of my house is the bedroom. I like to pretend that I share this room with my sister, that's why we have 2 beds, but the room is mainly decorated with my interests in mind. Or I like to pretend that my house is a boarding house and this room is shared by my tenants. So the story changes between those two and whatever vibe I want to go for. This idea was basically inspired by one of my favorite books as a child, A Corner of the Universe by Anna Martin. The protagonist is a young girl named Hattie Owen who lives in and helps run a boarding house with her family. It's a good read, I highly recommend. Not too long if you're looking for something to pass the time, although maybe I am biased because I haven't read it in so long, so I might be looking at it with a nostalgic lens, but it's still stuck with me to this day. Aesthetic-wise, the room was originally inspired by Air Yeti and was overflowing with nature. It was very cramped and the color scheme was overwhelmingly green with some shades of yellow, but since then, I've added more brown tones to balance it out, and it's ended up being one of my favorite rooms in the house. The bedroom and basement are actually tied for my favorite, but the bedroom has a slight edge because I love how the room looks as the sun sets. I don't really take photos with the lights on in this game. I always rely on natural lighting instead from the outside, so whatever the sun's setting, that's my favorite time to take indoor pics. This bedroom is actually the only room that has kept most of the furniture I used from its original layout, so really not much has changed. I think it still gives off a sort of cozy nature aesthetic, just not as cluttered as before. I do like cluttered spaces though in games. I like messy rooms. I think it's realistic. Nobody expecting you to keep your room like the ones in an IKEA exhibit. To be honest, I get a little anxious when things feel too perfect, too clean, too polished, unless it's the kitchen. Just like the master bedroom, I wanted my kitchen to have a nostalgic and welcoming presence. When you come here, you know you're not eating alone. This room is constantly changing throughout the year, but in minor details. So for example, I like to switch out the food I set down as well as the dining table. So sometimes we have the birthday table or we have the imperial dining table. I'll put down whatever I'm in the mood for, and there's so many yummy food in Animal Crossing that it would be a shame not to use them all. When they introduced cooking to New Horizons, I was hyped, because when I was a kid, my sister and I would pretend the fossils we dug up in Animal Crossing were cake. This was on the Animal Crossing GameCube, by the way, so we were not blessed with all the food items we have today in New Horizons, and the few food items that had furniture on it, we were always too broke to get it, so sometimes we would log into my dad's profile so we can steal his furniture. If they were to ever update New Horizons, I would love to have another room upstairs so I can expand the dining room. I like my kitchen a lot though. This is my favorite room to take photos of villagers. We also have a little karaoke setup, and I didn't realize until now that you can play music through the karaoke machine. And I know, how could I not realize, but I thought it would act like a TV, so it was a pleasant surprise for me. Last but not least, we have the basement. The basement is not only a place for friends to hang out, but a guest bedroom as well. So if anyone wants to stay the night, feel free to crash at my place. And if you think you're having a night terror, it's probably just this guy. By the way, if you overstay your welcome, this guy will see you out. Can you imagine robbing a place and instead of a guard dog, you come across a guard gyroid? Honestly, gyroids could be the burglar alarm systems for Animal Crossing. Imagine one of the gyroids makes the sound as The Sims burglar theme. I would hate that. Really, I would. That was one of the scariest sounds for me as a kid. And then for this section, we have a little bit of everything. You're always welcome to read, snack, do some arts and crafts. I have a guitar here as well if guests want to jam out together. It's a pretty simple room and I like it. But yeah, I'll definitely do an updated house tour video if I make any drastic changes to my house. For now, I'm pretty content and I still have many more houses to decorate, such as my villagers. I really need to get to that. That reminds me, I need to finish Happy Home Paradise. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing more house tour videos, let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated on when my next video drops. Until then, this is Little Lemon Drop dropping out. See ya, bye bye, have a good day.